Hey, Draymond here. Black Friday game day is coming to prom with an epic day of live sports. Black Friday football is back with the Chicago Bears taking on the Philadelphia Eagles at 3 p.m. Eastern, followed by an Emirates NBA Cup doubleheader, Bucks, Knicks at 7 p.m., and Mavs, Lakers at 10 p.m. And the whole day starts with the Capital One Skins game as 4 elite PGA golfers meet with $4 million on the line. Black Friday game day, the Capital One Skins game at 9 a.m., Bears Eagle NFL action at 3 p.m., and the final night of Emirates NBA group play with Bucks Knicks at 7 and Mavs Lakers at 10, only on Prime. Man, I'm so happy and honored to have this guest who's a brother to me, Spartan dog. Y'all know I always talk my Spartan dog shit on the podcast. And y'all know how I'm repping for the Spartans. By the way, my Spartans are getting it done. Our Spartans are getting it done. If you have not noticed, line them up. We putting them down. That's how it's going. But these ties run deep, and I'm so honored to have this guest, my big brother, owner of the Phoenix Suns, 2000 national champion, CEO of United Wholesale Mortgage, one of the biggest donors at Michigan State for our athletic program, continues to give resources so that our programs can stay at the top. One that we're all forever grateful for, always will be. Honored to have this next guest as our first guest back at the Draymond Green Show here at Odyssey. None other, the one and only Matt Ishbia.
What's going on, man? Glad to be here with you. Appreciate you. Yeah, our Spartans are doing some good stuff right now, man.
It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. As you know, we were just there a couple months ago for Grind Week, and we get the opportunity to spend those 4 or 5 days with the guys and watching them put their work in and watching their process come together, and how that team is bonding together, how Fears is leading that team together. It's so beautiful to see.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. And you know how Coach is and getting the guys together, but just seeing what we saw a couple months ago and how they're developing, and we're still early. Usually they peak later, so they're going to keep getting better every day. It's fun to watch Coach, and he said all the players, Fears, and all these guys developing.
Absolutely. And so, Ish, I must ask you something because I'm still a little salty about this. Obviously we're going to talk a little bit about your Michigan State days, but I want to talk about something at Michigan State. There's obviously a lot of things at Michigan State that, you can do and we can't do. But there's one thing in particular I want to talk about, and that's in Michigan State locker room, there's a circle in the middle of the floor. And you're allowed to step on that circle. I'm not allowed to step on that circle. Can you share with the people why that is?
Yeah, well, obviously you're the legend at Michigan State. What you've done there, it's unbelievable. Obviously, I had one thing that we've been able to do, which winning a national championship, being on that team with Mateen Cleese and Jason Richardson, Morris Peter, all those stars, but just great people. And so I'm a little older than you. I've got that little bit of a tiny thing above that, but you have the right to do anything you want at Michigan State. You're the Spartan dog of all dogs.
Oh, man, it still burns me up to this day that when I walk in that locker room, I got to walk around that circle, But and speaking of that, though, just wanted to kind of go back to the roots. Why Michigan State? When you going back, obviously, about 25 years now, almost 30 years. Why Michigan State for you?
And the opportunity, if I would have not played basketball in college, Michigan State would have been the place. But being able to be around, and I got a chance to be around Coach Izzo, and I went up there originally with my friend Antonio Gates, who was an NFL Hall of Famer, playing in an open gym, and just being around the guys and realizing that family atmosphere. And to this day, it's still that way. And so being able to, I always say I had to be the hardest worker guy to be the worst player on that team. And I worked hard every day just to be out there with the guys. And man, it changed my life forever. I'm forever grateful to Michigan State, Izzo, just everybody there.
Absolutely. And speaking of obviously, I have that honor that you have of being able to call him a friend, being able to, obviously he's coached, but having a relationship with him that spans so far past the basketball years and being able, to call him a friend. What's it been like for you and having a relationship with Coach Iz as you've grown into your life, obviously far past basketball, but still understanding and knowing the importance of that relationship?
Yeah, it's been amazing. Coach Izzo's the best. You know this because you look up to him like I look up to him. And when I played for him, you're always scared he's going to get after you. And and then after playing, I realized like I had no value to help him with anything, but he always treated me like family. Now at the same time, I've developed it to where I'm at differently now. But like he was always there for me in 2005, 2010. Always treated me like family. He's a special man, and you know it because you've created, what he had already, and then you taking it to a whole nother level. This Michigan State Spartan family, the Spartan Dogs, is different because of you, because of Coach, but he's a special man. As he gets older and older, he's still that guy.
Absolutely, and I fucking love Coach Iz, man. That man taught me so much about what it means to be just a stand-up gentleman, let alone be a pro basketball player, let alone what it means to be a Spartan, but just what it means to walk into a room, have a presence, and be a stand-up gentleman. And I can never repay him for what he's meant in my life, and I know y'all share that relationship, and you've talked to him about coming out to Phoenix and being part of the organization, and the things that he can bring. What was those conversations like? And having talking to him about, man, one day, there may be an opportunity for you to come out here and help grow this culture as well. Because I know when you were having those conversations with him, I said, he said, man, why do you think Ish would want me out there? And I said, well, Coach, you build a culture. And he said, y'all think I can build a culture? That was his response to me. But what was those conversations like?
We're just talking to him about basketball, but about life and about culture. He's so special with that stuff. Just like you said, he's developed more people off the court than he does on the court as well. And obviously, so if he could ever come to Phoenix when he's done coaching at Michigan State and say, hey, come out here and help me continue to build this culture, this identity that we've talked about that I've had trying to change out here in Phoenix recently. But, he's just an ultimate winner. But the word that I always about Coach, and this because he cares. You can't fake caring about someone. He actually cares. He'll check in with me. He'll check in with you. And it's not because of who what we've done. It's because he actually cares about us. And he'll check in with someone that's a walk-on he hasn't talked to in 6 years. He'll check in on him. He cares. And he's special like that, where no other college programs like that from my knowledge.
No, 1,000%. I tell guys all the time, like, that's one of my things. When I walk into the locker room, I brag at guys like, you can't even call your college coach. Like, they don't really talk to y'all. Like, y'all don't have that relationship. And so, it's obviously something that means a ton to us. Yeah. Now, we in discussing Michigan State, obviously, want to, number one, thank you for all that you've done for our program. But also want to thank you. I appreciate that.
We've done a lot. We're family. We take care of people that took care of us, and you're the leader of that. To be honest with you, I followed your lead, to be clear, and I'm proud of that. I could do it as well.
I appreciate that. Just all the support that you've given, to our program, to our university, and helping us stay among the elites. But just, and speaking of one of Coach Izzo's interviews the other day, he spoke about the transfer portal and how he's still building it from the ground up. Meanwhile, here we are with the number one recruiting class in the country this year, and how do you look at the NIL and all the stuff that's going on today? You got people saying that, someone's about to buy the Big Ten Conference, and all of those things. Where do you think, obviously we know where that's gone, up until this point, but as far as like private equity and all these things coming into the NIL, what do you think about these conversations that they're having?
Yeah, it's interesting. So first off, the college guys, when you were there, you couldn't get anything, so it was hard to make things connect, getting pizza after a game and just like, so you got to pay the players. You got to get so these guys can live on campus. I mean, you were there, I was there. Like, I remember it so clearly. Now, with that being said, some of this stuff's getting a little crazy. And I think pay the players, take care of them, make sure that they can live great and they can develop. I don't understand how private equity is coming in and people are trying to buy sports programs. But the way I look at Coach Izzo, the way he's done it is he's done it the good old fashioned way. I'm going to care about you. I'm going to develop you. I'm going to make you a man. And if you want to come be part of it, come. If you don't, someone will always offer you more money. And I think about that even in my mortgage business. I'm like, someone will always offer someone more money. If it's only about money, then go there. But if you're about culture, you're about team, you're about winning, you're about things like developing and being an amazing human being and an amazing basketball player, Michigan State's the place.
1,000%. And I think, that answer is a perfect segue, for where the interview goes next. And tying these things together, which that is Michigan State, that is the Phoenix Suns. I want to talk about one person in particular as we start that conversation. Martin Cleaves, who was the leader of the 2000 National Championship team, that you were on, who is a big brother to all of us, a big guy who really showed us like, yo, this is what grinding is. This is what grabbing your brother and embracing them is. Like, when I look at Michigan State culture, for me, it's Tom Izzo, Michigan State culture today. Obviously, when you think Michigan State culture, the great Magic Johnson, we can never say enough about the great Magic Johnson. But when I look at Michigan State culture today, the reason I say it is Martin Cleaves and it's Tom Izzo, we got the great Steve Smith, we got the great Sean Respert. Not taking anything away from those guys because they are all our Spartan brothers. But when I say Michigan State culture today, what I'm referring to is Jahiko left and Coach Izzo had to really build the program, like take the program from where it was when Judd handed it off to him and really grow an identity of what Michigan State has become today. And right at the forefront of that was recruiting a young Martin Cleaves out of Flint, Michigan, from Flint Northern High School, and completely changing the identity of a program. Coming on the heels of the 5-5 where you had these guys, they're the coolest thing around. Everybody wanted to go and wear the black socks and the long shorts. And then Martin Cleaves say, no, I'm not going to Michigan. I'm coming to Michigan State, and I want to create a culture. And the reason I brought Martin up, obviously now, Martin is working with the Phoenix Suns as an assistant coach. Talk about Martin Cleaves, the relationship, what he's been in your life, and how you guys continue to have as strong as bond as you have 25 years after winning a national championship.
Yeah, like you said, Martin's a big brother. Martin cares about people. He set that culture. And don't forget, like, I got to give respect to all the players that you referenced, but it's Tom Izzo, it's Martin Cleaves, and then you got to put yourself there, Draymond, because we are not where we are today without Draymond Green going to Michigan State, going to the multiple Final Fours, and being that leader, the dog, and the success you've had in the NBA. So Martin didn't have that success in the NBA. You've won 4 championships. You're a winner, and that has helped carry on that legacy. And when you go back, it makes a difference so that the young guys come in, and even the younger players in the league, Jaren Jackson and Miles Britt, all these guys are part of it. But yes, Martin, Draymond, Coach Izzo, let me just talk about, but Martin, he worked in my mortgage company for the last 7 years, and he went through some different things after his playing career. Martin is the ultimate winner. He's a family man, ultimate winner. He's got my back. He would, if I called Martin right now and said, I'm here, he'll run across the country to help me out. He's got my back,
yes,
just like I'd have his back. And so that type of family started with the way Izzo and Martin built it, and it shows by caring. Because I remember this, and I'll give you a quick story. Like when I was playing at Michigan State, I remember one of my first practices. Martin Cleaves is coming off Big Ten Player of the Year, so I'm there in his junior year. We go to the Final Four that year, 3 consecutive years I went to it there. And with my first year with him, though, first week of practice is I'm the third string point guard. I'm guarding Martin. He swings the ball through him, and I smack his arm so hard, man, steal the ball. Izzo blows the whistle. What the hell are you doing? Barely even knows who I am, And Martin goes, Coach, stop. They're going to hit me in the games too. I got to be better with the ball. And I'm like, oh, man, because every other star player is like, yeah, man, get off me. Yeah, that's the culture. Martin said, he's like, no one's bigger than him. Like, no one's bigger than the team. He cared about everybody. He didn't care. Like, he controlled that. And that's just one of 1,000 stories there where Martin stuck up for us guys, took care of us, cared about us, held us accountable, and we would run through a wall following that man.
1,000%. And, I appreciate you putting me in that in that category. I must say, for me, it was just so important in watching, number one, one of the main reasons I went to Michigan State was because I loved the family atmosphere. And I think for me, when I came in, obviously I came in on the tail end of Travis Walton's career, where Travis was an incredible leader in his Michigan State era. And I think for me, and watching you guys, Mateen, Mo, yourself, Charlie, Tone Smith, and watching all the guys that came, like the only thing that I wanted to do was carry the torch. Like the only, like when I looked at Michigan State, like when I went to Michigan, I probably shouldn't have gone to Michigan State. Michigan State recruited Devin Rowe the same year, who was the same year coming in that I was coming in, same position. Like he was a top 5 recruit. It really didn't make sense for me to go to Michigan State, except that I knew that was the place for me. I knew that was the place that I wanted to try, as we say, try to leave a footprint in the sand. I knew that was the place that I wanted to try to carry on the tradition, that I wanted to, take the Spartan head, take the Spartan helmet, put it on, and I want to run with it and be the guy to try to lead that charge. And it's meant so much to me. And then, to watch Gary and Denzel, and Brent Forbes and Jaren Jackson and Miles Bridges, to now watch them. Like, one of the things that make me most proud is when we go back to Grind Week, is like, no, I can step to the side and watch them do their thing now. Like, I can step to the side and watch them mingle with the recruits and tell the next recruit how, this is the place for you and X, Y, Z, and this is why it makes sense. Like, that's one of the things that bring me the most joy. And so to be in that category, I want to say thank you. To put me in that category, I want to say thank you, because it was the only goal I had, was that I wanted to take the torch and try to take it as far as I can so that I can hand it off to the next guy in a better spot than it was when you guys was gracious enough to hand it over to me.
Yeah, and you did that times 10, right? Because the program, Mateen was in 2000, right? And then, you're in 2009, 2000. Like it's a decade later, and now I think we're in 2025. And the way when we walk back in there, Mateen Cleaves, Draymond Green, but then everyone looks to you guys, and you've done a hell of a job of that, and I'm grateful for you, and I know all the other players, because keeping us together, it's not that easy. It's easy to say, it's hard to do. You've done a heck of a job of that, and now we got to do it going forward still. And so,
no doubt,
absolutely, you're definitely not only in that category, you've helped take it to another level, and I'm excited about what they're doing now. And the coaches are there, because there's going to be another generation once Coach Izzo leaves, because he ain't coaching forever.
Yep.
And so it's like, How do we keep that family feel that no one else has been able to do, but us Spartans will figure it out?
One thing for sure, we must figure it out. And like I always say, it got to be a Spartan, because if you're not a Spartan, you just don't understand what it means to us. Like, it has to be a Spartan. Like, when you're talking about taking this torch and carrying it, and family still coming back, and that bonds, it has to be a Spartan, because that's the only person who's going to carry this thing with such care the way we care about it.
Absolutely. And that's, I expect the plan to be that.
Hey, Draymond here. Black Friday game day is coming to prom, and it'll be an epic day of live sports. Black Friday football is at the center of it all, with the Chicago Bears taking on the Philadelphia Eagles at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's followed by the final night of Emirates NBA Cup group play and a doubleheader, starting with the Bucks and Knicks at 7 p.m. and the Mavericks and Lakers at 10 p.m. But the whole day starts with the return of the Capital One Skins game, as 4 elite PGA golfers face off with $4 million on the line. Black Friday game day tees off with the Capital One Skins game at 9 a.m. Eastern, before the big Bears-Eagles football game at 3 p.m. And it all culminates with a double dose of Emirates NBA Cup action featuring Bucks Knicks at 7 p.m. and Mav Lakers at 10 p.m. only on Prime. You've now owned the Phoenix Suns for almost 3 years. I think number one, is the job of owning an NBA team what you expected? And the second part of that question would be, how would you assess that you've done so far since taking over ownership, we talk NBA franchise these days. It's not the same thing as owning an NBA franchise even 10 years ago, and so just the second part of that question being, how would you assess you've done so far?
Yeah, so it's obviously, I mean, a dream beyond dreams to be able to be an owner of a basketball team. The way I look at it is the Phoenix community owns a team. My job is to help lead it, right? Be the leader, do the right things by the fans. I've had so much fun, man. We'll talk about what I could have done better and what we could do. We can talk about that, but just the business side and being part of it, I love it because you know what? It's so much fun to invest and do good things like we own the Mercury, the women's team as well, and building a practice facility for them and be a leader out there, and then looking at stuff and be like, people don't do the same things. Like even owning, we put the TV out for free for all of our team, like people in the whole state. Like you can watch the NBA games for free, where it used to be like concessions price. Like I've loved doing like these things that it's like, why don't you do that? And so I've done it. Actually, crazy enough, I got partners from the old owner that are still in there suing me for doing the right thing and investing in the team. And I love it. I actually enjoy those lawsuits because to me, it's like doing the right thing by people, by the fans, be the right steward. That's my job. And so I've had so much fun owning the team. Crazy is a little bit more publicity, as you obviously know, you lived that world, so it's newer to me. But I have the best time running it, being involved with it, the women's team, the men's team, the business side, and just doing the right thing by the fans because I've been a fan my whole life. I'm like, why can't I watch the game? I got to pay to watch the game. No, you don't have to pay to watch the game. It's free for TV. Why does it cost $9 for a water bottle in this arena? No, you don't do that anymore. So I made some of those changes, which seemed like low-hanging fruit, but had the best time doing it. And then the basketball side and the business side, the basketball side of it, I didn't come in and set an identity and a vision. Like I tried, like they always say, anytime you own a team, like, oh, is he going to come in and be a new owner syndrome and make this? And like, so I'm like, okay, wait a minute. The women's team, by the way, was the worst team in the league. So I jumped in right away. And now we went to the WNBA finals 3 years later. The men's team, we were already pretty good. We were like the 8-9 seed when I bought the team. We were middle of the pack, but we had just come off a run 2 years earlier. And so it's like, how do we just add to the team? And so my job was, okay, finances are not an issue. Let's go into the luxury tax. Let's do this. But it didn't work. That didn't work. And so what I could have done better is set the identity, set the vision, set the culture, and then go. And that's kind of what we reset this summer. And, we're still early in the season, but so far it's going in the right direction. We're going to build it the right way.
I have several things that I want to say about what you just did, but I must go back. As someone who grew up in the state of Michigan, like yourself, and grew up in the market, the Detroit Pistons was our hometown team. And having to have cable to watch the Detroit Pistons on Fox Sports Net, when cable wasn't always a luxury that we had. And you're going to say to me, the kid that's worked extremely hard to make it to this point, that struggled to watch the games on TV when cable, we couldn't afford cable that month, and that would be the bill that have to get cut off. And you're going to say to me that your partners are suing you for making it free for the kid that had a dream of going to the NBA to watch the NBA? Is that what you're saying to me?
Yeah, it's crazy to hear it like that. But yes, these are limited partners. Like I said, I didn't bring them in there. But the way I think about those people, they think about money. All the people think about is money. And the way I look at it is, let's do the right thing. Money follows success. It's not the other way around. Go do right by the kids. Go lower concession. I don't know how it will work out, but things always work. And by the way, since I bought the team at $4 billion, it's worth $6 billion now. I mean, it's gone up. They could. I told them, instead of suing me, why don't you just write me a letter and say thank you? Your investment's worth more, right? We've done right by the community and fans, but like you said, you've grown up and you know what that's like, and like doing the right things, like the things that you'd always say, why don't owners do this? I'm going to do those things. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, but it's with the good intentions. And that's what we believe in. And so I'm proud of that. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, absolutely. As long as the intentions are right. Because see, when I first saw that you made the games free, like, I love that you did that, because what it said to me was, we're trying to build community. And when I saw that, I was like, that's interesting. And Harris, like when I take a step back and I look at that, well, if you grow the community, if you grow the Phoenix Suns fan base, that's more jersey sales. That the prices of a jersey ain't going down. The prices of a jersey is going up. That's more Phoenix Suns basketball sold. That's more Phoenix Suns flags sold. That's more Phoenix Suns shirts sold. That's bringing experiences to the Phoenix community and more of those things. Like, if you grow the brand, then all those things follow anyway, as opposed to whacking the family who scraped together money for their family of 3, family of 4 to come to a basketball game and whacking them over the head for $9 for a hot dog and $11 for a bottle of water and $16 for a soda, and they can't even really enjoy the game because they're penny pinching. The money will come anyway if you grow the brand.
100%. Money follows success. And by the way, do the right thing. Like you've done an amazing job. You've made a lot of money. You've been successful. I've been successful. Like, it's not about chasing dollars. It's about doing the right thing by people, and great things happen. Like, I'm a big believer of do what's right without any expectation in return, and great things always happen. And I've been lucky in life. I've been blessed. You've done amazing things. You worked. And so to me, it's obvious and it's easy, but you know what? That's not what everyone else does. And so that's not common in the business world. The private equity people, like, but that's not my world. I'm an operator. I love being involved. I love doing right. Like, I love going up to fans, giving them gift cards, doing the right thing by fans, because you know what? I was that fan a long time ago. For my birthday, it was, hey, Dad, can we get Pistons tickets to go to the game? And that was my birthday present. We went to the Pistons game. And it's like, let's realize that the world, like, we're very blessed, and let's do right by people. And it's one of the great privileges of being an NBA owner is that I have the ability to do cool things like that.
Yeah, 1,000%. And that means a lot, when we take a step back and we look at, like, because let's just face it, like, all players don't like our owners. Like, that's just not the reality, right? But when we take a step back and we look at that, like, those are the things that really hit home for us, because obviously the background of a lot of players are, that's kind of changing today, but a lot of guys that still in the league come from shit, And so when you have someone in the position that you're in and you see that taking place, I want you to know we support you. And I hope the greater Phoenix community support you against those owners. And by the way, if they don't like it, sell and make your profit and move along. But stop trying to make us skim something off the top, on every year, skim a little bit off the top, shave a little. If you want a profit, sell it and move on.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that support and that 100%. And then, by the way, those guys, not that we don't talk about those losers, and no disrespect, but screw them. Like, those guys, they can sell if they want. Go ahead. Like, nothing holds them back. People like to just create negative media and create stuff, but we're going to always do the right thing in Phoenix. I love having that power to be able to do the right thing by our fans and by our community.
1,000%. One thing I love when you came in and you took over as an owner is you said, I'm coming in and I'm going for it. The mentality that I know you have, the same mentality that you have in business is the same mentality that you brought to the Phoenix Suns. And you said, I'm going for it as when you came in. Obviously, like you said, it didn't work out, but I can respect. I think so many teams in the NBA, they come in, they sit pat. And I always say, one thing Joe Dumars taught me many years ago, he said, Dre, I just want to tell you something. On a given year in the NBA, there's 3 to 4 teams really trying to win a championship. There's a group of 10 to 12 teams that says they want to win a championship, but aren't quite doing everything to win a championship. And then there's the rest of them, 15, 16, however the breakdown per year, that isn't even trying to win a championship at all. And you came in right away and said, no, I'm a part of the first group. I'm a part of the 3 to 4 that's going to swing and try to win a championship. And although the swing necessarily didn't work out, what tone do you think that set of the type of owner that coming in that you are going to be moving forward as the Phoenix Sun owner? Because in my mind, I know the tone that it set.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it didn't work. However, the mentality is like, we're out here trying to win. Phoenix Suns have never won a championship for the long history they've had. It's like, wow. Let's go try to win. Let's go see what we can do. And you know what? It didn't work. And maybe I could have done things differently. But you know what? No one's going to think that Matt Ishbia doesn't care. No one's going to think that he's not spending money and trying to win. And I think that sends a message to fans. But also, you're a player. You're a star player. Like, players know, like, that guy's out there trying to win. He holds himself. And by the way, it's really easy to set no expectations and be better than that. But when you set high expectations and you miss them, you get shit on. Like, people get after you. You know what? I still pick that. I always want to try. We're going to compete. We're going to do things. Now we're going to build it the right way in the long, but I want to compete for a sustainable time frame. But we're not going to go there and try to tank in and do that. Like that's not in my DNA. I don't even understand it.
Yeah, no, and I see that. In a year where trade Kevin Durant away, the year where you buy out Bradley Beal, the two largest contracts on your payroll at the time. Yeah, you look up this year and you added Dillon Brooks, who, I've had my differences with Dillon Brooks, but one thing for certain is Dillon Brooks is going to make a team a better team. No questions asked, regardless of how you feel about him. He's going to make a team a better team. He's going to raise the level of that team on a nightly basis to compete at a high level. You go get a Jalen Green where everybody said, oh, man, like they should be looking to move Jalen Green right away. You say, no, I think this is a guy that can help this franchise in the future. I think this is a guy that we can put next to Devin Booker and continue to build. You go out and get a young Mark Williams, who you're very, going into it that this kid's going to be looking for a contract in the next year, and y'all go out and get him with that understanding and say, no, but I think this guy, can help us compete. And so it's very clear that even in a year where was supposed to be, a new head coach, first-time head coach in Jordan Ott, in a year where it was clear that it's supposed to be a rebuild, you guys are right in the thick of things in the West and competing every night, and
yeah. And that's a tribute to the players and the coaches but that mentality, like you said, and everyone understands like we're trying to compete every day, and seeing like you raise the floor, like you're a floor raiser, you're a winner, you're a champion, and so like how do I get people like that care? And so Dillon is definitely someone, in my opinion, that cares. He might agitate the other 29 teams, but for us, he's exactly what we're about. He's a tough, hard-nosed guy. He plays as many games as he can play. He wants to compete every game, and he's going to do what he can to help us win. And like you said, don't mention other guys, Jalen and Mark, but even like Jordan Goodwin, some other guys, Colin Gillespie. We got some guys in here that not everyone looks at. Like one thing I've learned about the NBA, and I don't know what your thoughts are because you know better than I do, but like playing hard and caring about winning. Like, I didn't think that those were skills, but those are skills. And you need to make sure your guys have those skills. It's not just shooting. It's not just rebounding or defense or athleticism. Playing hard and caring about winning every night. And I'm lucky to have some guys like that and a great young head coach that's kind of bringing them all together.
One thing's for certain, be careful of the talented guy that don't care about those things. It don't pan out in the end is what we've learned in this league. There's a lot of guys who got the talent. And if they don't care about those things, you don't care about team, you don't care about competing, you don't care about winning, it don't work out in the end. So
definitely not sustainable. That's for sure.
1,000%. And speaking of the business side, when you were preparing to take over the team, were there any people, when you look at other owners, like that were possible mentors to you in this space, or like was there anyone that you sought out for advice, as you went through the process of finding a team that you can purchase and then, or acquire, I should say, and then also, just taking over the team? Were there any one in your corner that you were able to talk to about these experiences?
Yeah, to be clear, the NBA owners have been great. Like, so meeting other NBA owners or other people so I've built some great relationships. Even your owner, Joe Laco, like I got to know him before, but before I owned a team, he got on a call with me, gave some thoughts and advice, and he's been a friend ever since then. And now he owns a WNBA team. So I just saw him recently. We talked about that stuff. And so, but then there's other guys that, I've become friendly with. Mark Cuban. He's given me some different advice. And like Mark Lazary, who used to be owning the Bucks, he's no longer there. But people have reached out and there's more. There's many more. I've become friends with people. And what you find is you're like, okay, he's really great at this. Let me steal some wisdom. And this guy's really great at something different. Let me steal some wisdom. And so I built some great relationships. And you know what you learn? Just like I'm always learning. I'm always getting better. I'm 45 years old. Man, there's never a day. I tell my mortgage people, like, I'm the worst CEO I am today for the rest of my life because tomorrow I'll be better. Next week I'll be better. And so I ask so many questions. I learn from fans. I learn from owners. I learn from other business executives. And man, I'm having a great time doing it. And I know that I'm good, but I'll be better, and I'm going to keep getting better every day.
1,000%. No, I respect that. As you continue to grow with your organization, What does success look like for the franchise over the next 5 years?
Well, first off, we had to build the identity. So there's business side. So I look at the franchise in three ways, right? I think there's business, then I think the Mercury, the women's team, and then the men's team. And then I also look as an owner, like people always look at how much we're winning. But when I bought the team, I said there's four things I'm focused on. First, I'm focused on fan experience. Make it amazing. We talked about the TV stuff. Second, I'm like, how do I develop the community, do cool things? We had the Women's All-Star. Now I've got the NBA All-Star game here next year in 27. Yeah. So cool stuff, right? Like for the community, it's their team. Third, I got to build a great culture. So the previous regime, I had to make some different changes on the business side, really develop. We built a new headquarters. But then fourth is winning. You got to win eventually, right? Yes. And so for the next 5 years, I mean, without question, we want to win championships here in Phoenix. It's going to take time, and we got to build it the right way so that it's sustainable, just like you've done in Golden State. Like it's amazing what your organization has done where, you've had years where you've won it, but you've also had years that you didn't even make the playoffs. And then you get right back into it and you compete. And you guys are right in the thick of it right now. It's like you have a chance to win. And so putting us on a place that we have a chance to compete and win and compete in the playoffs and win championship is the job and the goal on the winning side. And that's what we plan on doing with the women's team, which we've done over the last 3 years. And now we plan on doing with the men's team. And so how it all shakes out, do we win a championship in year 3 or year 30? I don't know, but I'm going to own it for 40, 50 years. We are going to win championships because we're going to do it the right way and try to have sustained success. But, I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to ask you questions. You're going to show me you've got something that I could only dream of having 4 rings. It's like, how do we do that stuff, man? You tell me what I should do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm here for you. Always, my brother. And speaking of the next 5 years, and oftentimes in the world we live in, and when I say the world we live in, I mean the NBA, it's always about, oh man, a franchise player don't have an opportunity or chance, as they would say, to win right now. They should run away. They should leave. They should go find a situation where they can win right away and compete for a championship right away. And I want to talk about a guy in particular who's near and dear to my heart, who I know has grown near and dear to you over the last 3 years, and Devin Booker. As you guys navigated what you navigated this summer, needing to get under the second apron because you're not winning, making the moves that you made, he doubled down and said, no, I'm signing this. Not only am I not leaving, but I'm signing an extension to even take this thing further. What's it like having a guy like D Book as the face of the franchise, a guy who you look at this year, like I said, that's supposed to be a rebuild year, and he's averaging the most points he's averaged. His assist numbers are up, but more importantly, his leadership is up, and embracing a team that's trying to create a culture. What do you have to say about having a guy like that who said, "No, I'm all in," and the championship path may not be clear as it is today, as it will be tomorrow, but I'm all in. What's it like having a guy like that special of a player, but that bought into your organization and also your community?
Yeah, it's truly special. Booker, as you know, he's a special guy. Obviously, an amazing basketball player. We talk about basketball and how it's cool, but an amazing person. He means so much to the Arizona community, the Phoenix community, and he knows that. But on top of that, when you find out who your real friends are, when everyone else turns their back on you. And so when we went through some tough times, it'd be easy after a new owner comes in, we try to spend money, we try to do things, and we didn't win. It'd be easier for that franchise player to be like, hey, man, I put my time in, I'm ready to go. Instead, he did the reverse. He said, listen, I'm with you, Matt. I believe in what we're doing. I'm all in with you. I'll even sign an extension. Like, I want to be here with you. Let's go do this. He's had my back. I'll always have his back. It's been special. And so very, very lucky to have him. He comes from the state of Michigan, just like you and I do. So we have a little of that Midwest connection, but he's just an all-around winner, and he's getting better. Like you said, Mateen Cleese, you talk about leadership. You got Dylan Brooks. You got Devin Booker. We got people. We got Jordan Ott. Like, we're talking about getting better on and off the court as a leader, as a player, and he stepped up. We're still early in the season, but he's done a hell of a job, and I'm very honored and lucky to have him.
Yeah, no, 1,000%, and he'll continue to do that. I always say, man, Book has the demeanor that you have to have in order to take it to the top. And I know that throughout his career, as his career go on, he 1,000% going to do that.
Think about you.
Before we get out of here,
before I go, you and Steph have done the same thing in Golden State. Think about it. You guys have been there your whole careers. And that's a special 1,000%. Type of guy, because you get people that offer not only to offer you more money potentially, but also
Mm-hmm.
tell you different things. And when things go down, it's easy to jump ship, and you stayed. And that's why your jersey will be in the rafters. You'll be a Hall of Famer, just like Steph Curry is. It's something special. And I think Booker's following that same path, which I'm proud to be part of.
No, 1,000%. It's a beautiful path to be on. I'm so honored, to be on that path. You look at our team in 2020 where, KD left, Clay goes down with an ACL injury and then an Achilles injury. Steph breaks his hand. And, I'm coming up on a contract year. I'm not going into free agency and I'm not leaving. I'm going to sign this extension and we're going to figure this thing out again, and that's what we were able to do and win in 2022. And now, last year or so hasn't been that great. We're going to figure this thing out again. And it's special, and where I can relate the book is and having a great ownership group to do that with, an ownership group that understands, hey, man, it takes a little time, man, and we're still rocking and we still believe and we still going to go sign a Jimmy Butler and swing for the fences to give you guys another chance to win. So I relate to D-Book in that, and that's somebody that you want to go to war with because you feel that appreciation. So I applaud you on, making him feel that way and providing that support for him to go out and do that on a nightly basis.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We're aligned 100% on that.
Absolutely. And just lastly, before we get out of here, I must talk about the business side. You've built UWM. For those that don't know, UWM, United Wholesale Mortgage, into the number one mortgage lender in America. What's one leadership philosophy that you have that feels unique to you and might even be a bit of a controversial take in a sense?
Controversial take. So first off, I'd say the word I always use about leadership that differentiates, I learned it from Izzo, it is the word care. I care about people in a different way. It's not about the controversial take might be hey, go do right by people. It's not about ROI. I hate the word ROI. A lot of business leaders, what's the return on investment? And my whole business thing from a leadership perspective is go do right by your people. Go do right by your clients. Go win, and money will follow. Success is always, money follows success, not the other way around. So that's maybe controversial. The other thing I would say that maybe I think of things differently is listen, I was not born to be a mortgage guy. I don't know anything about mortgage when I grew up. I didn't even know what a mortgage was. But I'm willing to put the work in. And so to be successful in anything in life, you got to be able to grind harder than everyone. I used to be in the office, 4 a.m. suit and tie every single day, 15, 16 years. And we were nobody. I had no money. We were nobody. Eventually we became something. And so I think it's care and outwork everybody and think a little differently. You don't have to always do things like everybody else. Just same with the NBA ownership. I'm not doing like every other NBA owner. And I stubbed my toe. It didn't work perfectly on the basketball side. The business side, we're doing good things, but I'm not doing things like everybody else. I believe in my instincts. I trust my gut. And you just got to outwork everyone at some point. Some point, it's I do stuff that other people are unwilling to do. And that's been my big part of my business career. It's been helpful. And I still do it. I'm still at the office 15 hours, 14 hours a day, every day, grinding like everybody else.
Were there some rules that are, philosophies, but in particular rules, I would say, that you took from your playing days and said, I want these to be a part of what I have in my business?
So honestly, so many. I mean, and I don't think you've been to my office here in Michigan, but if you ever come back, if you walk through, you'd be like, oh, we got teams, we got huddles, we got it's Michigan State basketball reincarnated here at UWM. So come take a 12-person mortgage company to 9,000, be the number one in the world, number one in the country, whatever you want to say it. It's Tom Izzo. It's Michigan State. It's the stuff that It's just Spartan dog stuff. Show up early, stay late, care more. And so, I wrote a book about it actually years back about all the things I've learned from Tom Izzo and apply it to business. And now I'm trying to apply it back to basketball in the Phoenix Suns and Mercury world. But man, I learned. Just like you're an ultimate winner. You learn that stuff from Izzo, but you also had it coming up, growing up with your family, and it's been fun.
What's a bold decision that you made in business? Obviously not talking basketball business and business. What's a bold decision that you didn't make, but yet you think changed everything and is kind of a driver of the success today?
The biggest decision I made that maybe changed everything was two things. One, I said, I think there's a better way to do mortgages. I'm going to go all in on this, which means go through a mortgage broker rather than go through retail. So there's two types. You go one side or the other. I went against the wind, and I went the way with mortgage brokers. I believe the mortgage brokers. That was different. That's a little technical for probably people that don't know mortgages. So the one that I would say that ties to all businesses is I go by a philosophy called overstaffed by design, which means I have too many people to do the jobs I need because one, I care about my people having work-life balance. And two, when the business comes, I want to dominate on client service. And so we've been overstaffed by design for years, and it's helped us where a couple of years ago, you can make billions of dollars by being overstaffed and ready and prepared. And so it's all about preparation. And that maybe goes against the grain of what other businesses where everyone tries to stay lean and cut. I've never laid anyone off in 40 years at our business. We've never laid one person off at our company, never once, because that's not what we believe in. We want to have more people. We want to treat them great and dominate. And it's worked well. And, I'm expecting it to continue to work going forward.
That's special. That's special. You just talk about it and continuing to talk about like the care for humans. So many people in your position don't give a shit about human beings. Like, what about this bottom line? It's coming a public company. Like, what can we do for the bottom line? I have the utmost respect for that. Wow, that's incredible.
I appreciate it. We take care of our people over profits. We take care of our people. Money always follows. Just do the right thing by clients and people. But I appreciate it, my man. And, we're going to keep grinding just like you are, man, doing good things.
Absolutely. And lastly, your brother, Justin, just visited the Pope, gave him a signed White Sox jersey. How'd that come about? And do you have any plans of getting the Pope a signed Phoenix Suns jersey?
Yeah, so my brother and I are buying the Chicago White Sox that came out, and my brother's going to be the lead on that. And my brother lives in Chicago, so it's perfect. He loves baseball. He's like, if I like basketball, he loves baseball like that. He's big on that. And the Pope happens to be a big Chicago White Sox fan. So, we told he went out to overseas and he told the Pope, hey, listen, when we build a new stadium, we'd love you to throw out the first pitch. And I think it went really well. My brother was excited to meet the Pope. It's an honor to do something like that. And so, obviously the Reinsdorfs run the team right now. They do great things. And, in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, at some point, my brother will take over with him and I and doing some cool stuff. But right now it's basketball, it's Phoenix Suns and Mercury. And that's the grind.
I love that, man. Ish, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. And sharing all the things that you're doing in the community. I appreciate you for sharing even like that you're being sued, for trying to do better. Because it's like I said, it's such a slap in the face for us, who you come into these organizations and what we want to do is help the community. We want to win, we want to play basketball, but we come into these organizations, we come into cities that we're not from. In most cases, you're adopted by a new place and you want to do all that you can to help these communities that these organizations live in. And to know that, I think it's so important for people to see the other side of it, to understand that, here it is you have, and, so oftentimes ownership groups catch flack for what they're not trying to do. And here you have a majority owner who's saying, hey, man, we're trying to make this TV for free. We're trying to knock these concessions down. But I have minority owners who's a part of my group that's trying to sue me for doing better for you all. And I think it's just such a huge lesson for everyone to see. And I think it's great that those people should feel like scum of the earth and they should be embarrassed as such. And I hope their names are made public, as this thing continue to move forward, because people should know how ridiculous they are of trying to skim more money off the top, for these families who work their asses off to come support us. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart as someone who's not a part of an ownership group, and yet see, the things that you're trying to do on that side of things. So I want to say thank you for myself and for everyone else that you're out there doing it for. Continue to do the great work, brother. We'll continue to support you. And you're right, the Phoenix Suns, with you running, Phoenix Suns will become champions. They can mark that one.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. And thanks for all the support and love. And on the lawsuit stuff, just so you know, this in life, anyone can sue you for anything. Nobody's actually going to win anything, right? They're going to lose just like anyone else. Like, we do the right thing by people all the time. But in general, I love you, man. I appreciate you. I'm cheering for you, except for when you play the Suns, obviously, besides that. But you're doing great things, man. And just proud to call you a brother. And let's keep winning together. Keep doing great things.
Yes, sir. I love you, brother. I appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
Sounds good, man. I'll see you soon.
Just want to thank you all again for tuning in to the Draymond Green Show, and a special thank you to my big brother, Phoenix Suns owner, CEO of the #1 mortgage company in America. Just coming on and sharing some of his stories as a player, some of his stories as an owner, some of the things that he's learned as an owner, and then obviously the CEO of one of the top businesses in the country, the #1 mortgage company in America. Forever grateful. Shout out to my big brother, Matt Ishbia. Thank you. Till next time. Deuces. If you're rocking with the Draymond Green Show, be sure to click follow on your favorite podcast app. And while you're there, go ahead and drop a 5-star rating and leave a review. I want to hear what you think, and it would also mean a ton to me if you share it with a friend that you think would enjoy it. Let's keep this thing growing. The Draymond Green Show is presented by Odyssey and executive produced in conjunction with the New Media. Our executive producers are Leah Reese-Dennis, Danny Freisinger, and Greg Hosmer.